What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the show, the podcast. Episode, whatever episode number it is. We are potentially, if you're listening to this after Monday afternoon, or Tuesday afternoon, rather, you already know who's on the cover. Don't you worry. We're going to have an emergency podcast episode tomorrow that comes out in which we talk about the cover. But we're here. We made it. It is officially, if you're listening to this Tuesday afternoon, the MLB The Show 24 news cycle. If you're listening to this prior to the cover drop, hello, you're just as ignorant as I am. If you're listening to it after the cover drop, you know who is on the cover. Right now, officially, my finalists are Jose Ramirez, Ronald Acuna, and now, all of a sudden, Ozzy Albies. We'll see which one it is, if it's even one of those three. I also don't know if they're going to announce the Legends cover at the same time, or if there will even be a Legends cover. I'm not going to take a stab at who the Legends cover is. I have something weird on my collar here. There we go. No, I didn't. There, wait, hold on. Yep, it's a fuzzy. I got it. I don't know who's going to be on the Legends cover. I'm not even going to take a guess. Again, if you're listening to this in the afternoon, you might already know. But we'll talk about everything on Wednesday. We're doing an emergency, not going to be a long podcast, but an emergency podcast on the cover drop, okay? Okay? Everybody knows. But today, so I had a plan, and then plans change. That's how life works, right? My plan today was to do 5 things I think we need in MLB The Show 24. I did that video last year for 23. It went over very well. So I'm going to do it again. But then I discovered this really cool thing on the internet. The internet's full of cool things. And I want to talk about the cool thing. We will save 5 things we need in MLB The Show 24 for next week's podcast episode. Okay? So you guys can bookmark that and get ready for it. Today, we're going to talk about the really cool thing I found on the internet. So thank you guys again for being here for another week. I am so excited that the news cycle is upon us. We're here. We made it. We persevered. Maybe you gave the game up entirely until now, and it's not exactly persevering. But regardless, you made it. So I'm happy for you. I'm happy for us. The thing that I'm going to show you is something we surmise and complain about all the time. But lo and behold, it's all public information. Hadn't a clue. Maybe I'm late to the party here. So forgive me if you're watching on YouTube as I finagle with my settings here to make sure it works. Boom. Boom. Okay. Hey, everybody. Just wanted to take a quick second to update you all on the 2,000 YouTube subscriber giveaway that I promised we'd be doing. Here I am, and here it is. On Friday, February 2nd, that is this upcoming Friday, I am giving away one 2023 Bowman Chrome Mega Box. Go chase that Jackson Holliday, the #1 prospect in all of baseball. You can find all the information you need over on Twitter, but basically all you have to do is retweet and tag a friend, follow me on Twitter, and you get a bonus entry if you're already subscribed on YouTube. I'll also put the link to that Twitter post right in the description, so you don't have to look very far to find it. The past year has been nothing short of incredible. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all, and best of luck. So for the listeners, this should not impact you. On Spotify and Apple Podcasts, thank you guys for being here again. This might be one of those episodes where, from time to time, I will encourage you to come to YouTube and just visually check us out. We're going to talk about all the numbers we're going to see here, but just to visualize it, it's probably easier. Now, that doesn't mean stop listening. If you don't want to watch, I will do my best to make sure while you're listening that you can see everything you need to see. But just hear me out. So, I was on Twitter, as one does when they take their morning poop. And I follow, and he also follows me back, the media strategist for MLB The Show. His name is Colin. I don't know his last name. Forgive me, Colin. I did not look it up prior to recording this. He goes by Shiny Idol, IDOL, on Twitter. So go follow Colin. And you know how X or Twitter or Elon doesn't put things in chronological order anymore? They just pop shit up whenever they want. So a thread of Colin talking about your end of season MLB The Show report cards was up, which, by the way, you should go check out in your inbox. If you sign up for the scouting report, you get that email. Super cool. Nice job by Colin and team. But basically, someone was asking him about when are we going to find out about community stats for the year? And Colin was like, all of those are public right here. And my head was like, what the hell are you talking about? They're public since when? So maybe I'm incredibly dumb. But if you go to theshow.com, hover over Community Plus, and click on stats, it's all here all the time. I had no friggin' idea. This was a brain blast or brain fart moment, depending on how you look at this. This, to me, is wild. So we're going to certainly talk about this. Now, important to note, you cannot look at it, to my knowledge, on a customizable timeline. It only goes by weeks, and the most recent week in there is December 4th to December 10th, 2023. So we're 6 weeks behind. Not a big deal at this point. What I want to do is go through some of the available stats. As you can see here, there's a plenty. There's online and offline. We might just look at online, but we'll see. But I'm not going to look at it from December 4th to December 10th, because let's be honest with ourselves, and I don't think we're shocking anyone. The player base has dwindled by December. I'm going to go to what I think is probably like the height of online play, and I'm just going to pick the middle of May. You guys can do this yourselves. You can pick whatever you want. Maybe we'll bounce around to see how things have changed from May to like August or September. But what I tell you that I was stunned that this exists. Because how often do we talk about like, oh, they say the batting average on Perfect is 800. I'd love to see that. It's here. It's here all the time. We could just go look at it. So I'm interested in so many things. There are so many theories I could come up with. There's like, if I really wanted to catalog all this data, which I'm not going to do. Maybe someone else can if you'd like to. But like, if I really wanted to catalog all this, I could see how like batting averages on Hall of Fame or Legend have changed before or after the drop of John Donaldson, or if batting averages are higher while server strength has fewer people on it because the servers are like, there's so many theories we can come up with just by looking at this. But for right now, we're not going to theorize. I have not looked, other than one thing, I have not looked at any of these numbers. So this is all going to be news to me too. The only thing I looked at is where we're going to start is runs per game mode online, because I was just curious. So as you can see, it details all difficulties, rookie, veteran, all-star, Hall of Fame, and legend, and then combined, which is the average of those 5, obviously. And online game modes, it's got everything. Custom League, which people don't realize is technically an online game mode. Diamond Dynasty Battle Royale, which clearly only has all-star difficulty. Casual DD, co-op, events, play vs. friends, ranked co-op, ranked seasons, which technically is just called solo ranked now, SDS. Even in your own thing, you put a little boo-boo in there. Play now and play now co-op. So the things I want to look at, a couple things caught my eye. Diamond Dynasty Battle Royale. Runs per game mode online. Diamond Dynasty is 4.42. What I wish was clarified, and maybe I'm missing something, but I don't think so, is if this is runs per game mode online per individual or per game. Like, does this mean me as an individual is putting up 4.42 runs per game on All-Star, or me and my opponent combined are going for 4.42 runs per game on All-Star Battle Royale? I don't know. Because 4.42 to me seems rather low. I feel like I am generally dropping 5 or 6, at least myself, most games. Disclaimer, most games. So that number just was a little low to me, but maybe because I'm looking at it as 2 players combining. Maybe this is just 1, I don't know. I'm assuming, looking at some other things, that it might be 1, but whatever. Diamond Dynasty events, again, this number was low, 3.36. I'm also curious, did we have a Hall of Fame event this year? I don't know when that ran, but I bet that this would change from All-Star to Hall of Fame if we had a Hall of Fame event. Or whenever that Hall of Fame event was. I just don't remember. Now, the ranked one is interesting to talk about. So as we know, you cannot play ranked on rookie. It starts on veteran. 4.86 runs per game on veteran, 5.52 all-star, 7.48 Hall of Fame, 7.14 legend. So, what does this tell us? That even though veteran is the easiest of the ranked difficulties, it has the fewest runs per game, and that is because the player's skill level is not always great. That tracks. All-star, 5.52. I honestly thought that'd be a little higher, because then all of a sudden we get to Hall of Fame and we're talking 7.48. That is a 2-run jump, at least in this week, May 15th to May 21st, 2023. But what this also proves to us is that legend is indeed more difficult. I think we all knew this anecdotally, but you're shaving off 0.38 runs per game. And a combined ranked game total of 5.56 runs per game. Again, I have to think that's per individual. So, I think, first of all, that 7 runs per game on Legend is wild. This proves to you that even though it's a step down from Hall of Fame, the people who consistently play Legend are wackadoos. They're nasty at this game. It's unreasonable how good they are at this game. Some might also look at this number and say, oh, that's actually still too high. I think Legend should be harder. I don't think that's the case. I think I think Hall of Fame should be made a little harder. Just a little bit. Not a lot. Just a scotch. Or a skosh. Or whatever the people say. Just to make it a little closer to Legend. But these numbers are so interesting. Runs per game doesn't tell the whole story. A lot goes into that. But I want to look at it. Next, we're going to go to exit velocity by hit type. I have not looked at this yet. There are seemingly occasional issues with what your PCI feedback is and ultimately what your exit velocity is. I'm not even talking about result. Because sometimes, yes, you can absolutely shillelagh a ball right at somebody. But there are plenty of times where you are mostly perfectly in the center of your PCI, and the exit velocity is less than the speed of the pitch. And I ain't no Mythbuster or a scientist, but I feel like that doesn't make sense. So let's look at exit velocity by hit type online from that same week, May 15th to May 21st. Hey everyone, sorry to interrupt this absolutely incredible video that you're watching, but I have something very exciting to tell you, and it is that we have new merch available. It's been a little while since I've hyped up the merch, but like I said, I'm super excited about this. It shows off the new logo, some new designs, some new things that you guys might not have thought you would have wanted. So let's go look at it. As you can see here on my merch store, we have a discount running. If you use code KDJ10 now through the end of February, you're getting 10% off your entire order. So now is the best time to stock up on some new gear. We've got t-shirts, stickers for sticking on things, hoodies for if you live in chilly places and want to keep your nipples all sorts of warm, notebooks if you enjoy writing things down. Of course, we still have the classic The Show the Podcast t-shirts. And lastly, my favorite piece of new merch, it is the embroidered firewood hoodie. This is stitched on. It is a piece of my logo that doesn't include kdjTV. It's just the bolt. It's just the bat. It looks crazy good. And it also appears on the left wrist. Come on now. So like I said, KDJ10 gets you 10% off now through the end of February, and the link to my merch store is always in the description. If you buy something, let me know. I'll blow you a kiss. All right, back to the content. Oh, this is not what I was expecting, literally at all. Okay, I don't know why I thought this would be this. So hit type actually literally means hit type. I thought it would mean like good contact, bad contact. Is that a different one? Timing, hit type, online. All right, well, we'll get there. We'll see. So if you hit a hard grounder, it's 90 miles an hour. A line drive, 93. Medium, what is deep fly ball? Is there a deep fly ball one? There's high fly ball, there's medium fly ball, and there's pop-up. Huh. Okay, this is odd. This does not tell me what I want to know, is what the exit velocity is on like a deep fly ball. Or a home run. Like, hit type, home run can be a hit type, no? Which one of these is a homer? None of them? Colin, if you're listening, and I don't know if you are, thank you if you do, but if you're listening, could you in the YouTube comments clarify either which one of these is meant to be home run or deep fly ball, or if that's missing? Because I'm curious, because I mean, medium fly ball speaks for itself. That's like medium outfield. Line drive, most of the time, is not going to have the distance or the height to go over the wall, but I guess in theory that could be a homer. High fly ball would imply more height than depth. That's no good. I'm just curious. So for those listening, the hit types available here are chopper, easy to understand, corkscrew, which I guess is like a nubber off the bat, a dribbler, which is basically every hit that goes up the middle past the pitcher, easy grounder, probably just an atom ball, hard grounder, could also be an atom ball but hit better, high fly ball, line drive, medium fly ball, pop-up backwards, and pop-up forwards. So, in the infield or foul territory pop-ups. Interesting. The fact that this data exists and I didn't know about it, I would venture a guess and say most people did not know about this. It's super interesting, because I'd be looking at this, like, if I had a bad week of results on this game and was like, wow, the game didn't feel smooth this week, I could go back and see if it also felt like crap for everybody or if I just sucked. I would have done that had I known this exists. So this is super cool. This is very valuable information. I don't know what type of metrics or data other games would need to track, like Madden, FIFA, NBA 2K, NHL, whatever. But I would venture a guess and say this is unique to MLB The Show. I would bet most other games are not doing this. Maybe something like Call of Duty could, because there's a lot of, like, kill-death ratios and other types of stuff that you might care about. But this is unique to sports games. It has to be. Let's go to exit velocity by hit timing. That's what I like to see. Okay, so the hit timings, just to refresh everybody, this is not news, you should know this, but it's very early, just early, good, perfect, just late, very late. So, ooh, this is so juicy. I love this. I love nerding out on stuff like this. This is so cool. So, this tells us, in terms of exit velocity, it is better to be early than late, which I'm pretty sure they've told us before. In terms of fluky hits that kind of just like dip over the infield, it might be better to be late than early. But in terms of exit velocity, it is better to be early than late. Because let's do the comparison. Very early's exit velocity, again, from May 15th to May 21st. It's a small window that we're looking at here, but it, in theory, was the peak of the game. Very early, 66.1 mile an hour exit velo. Which also, that seems low to me, but okay. And then compared to very late, which would be the opposite ends of the spectrum, 56 miles an hour. So that is a 10.1 mile per hour exit velocity difference, very early to very late. It's better to be very early. Now looking at early, this is a square 80 per mile. I imagine there was some rounding done here, because it seems like it's weird to be 80 on the dot, but whatever, not a big deal. 80 miles per hour for early, 70.7 miles per hour for late. So that's a 9.3 difference. Just early, 87 miles an hour. Just late, 82 miles an hour. A 5 mile an hour difference. Then your good timing yields an 88 miles per hour. Wow, that seems low to me. Because your perfect is 104. You would think good would yield much better exit velocity than just early. Meanwhile, it's only an 88 to 87, so 1 mile an hour difference. I would think good should be somewhere in the low to mid 90s, and then your perfect at 104 makes every bit of sense to me. That's fine. You'll see as high as like 111, 112, maybe 115 if you're crazy. Probably the lowest perfect you can get has got to be like 99, 100. I haven't seen less than that. But wow, good only being... This is the one... I'm going to change weeks. I'm curious how much that good changes. We're going to go back to May 15th to May 21st as our baseline for everything else, but I want to compare. So let's just go to June 5th to June 11th. We're going to go back to exit velocity by hit timing. And good is still 88. Really? Wow. Looks like everything else is pretty close to the same. Let's try another week. Exit velocity by hit timing. Yeah, these have to be averages. I don't know how much this updates. Because it looks like things are basically the same across the board. But this is intriguing. This is very interesting. All right, we're back on May 15th to May 21st. Let's go to perfect by hit type. Was this going to give us percentages of hits? It is. Okay, batting averages. Okay. This is what I want to see. So, Again, this is just May 15th to May 21st. A 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. It is a 7-day window. I shouldn't have had to count. 7-day window. It's tracking fly balls, grounders, and line drives. It's giving you the percentage of all your perfect perfects, your batting average, your difficulty, and then the total perfect perfects. So in total, from May 15th to May 21st, there were 5,837,568 perfect perfects. For the sake of argument, I'm just going to round it down. I'm going to say 5.8 million. There were 20,000 of those on Legend. I'm just rounding now. 194,000 on Hall of Fame. 4.5 thousand on... sorry. Backtrack. 5.8 million total perfect perfects. 20,000 on Legend. 194,000 on Hall of Fame. Take a breath now. Lots on All-Star. 4.5 million on All-Star. That makes sense. Battle Royale, events, etc. 476,000 veteran, 604,000 rookie. That's a lot of perfect perfects. The highest percentage of all perfect perfects, if I'm reading this chart correctly, they were line drives. 41% of those 5.8 plus million perfect perfects, 41% of them were line drives. 36%, 35.9, 36% were fly balls, 23% were grounders. So, your batting average on fly ball perfect perfects during the week of May 15th to May 21st, including rookie, veteran, all-star, Hall of Fame, and Legend online gameplay, was 909. Your grounder batting average for perfect perfects was 797. That makes some sense to me. The ball's on the ground. It's going to be harder to get a hit on. And then your line drive batting average percentage was 889. So if you want to hit a perfect perfect and not get out, put the ball in the air. Hit a fly ball. And again, that makes sense to me. Because most of them, are going to be homers. You can't catch those. Well, you can. They have to be robbable. The line drive number being 889, in reality, it feels lower than that, because how many line drives do you hit to first and third on perfect perfects that just get immediately caught? Like reaction time of an AI robot. But I'm not going to completely disagree with this number. What I do want to do is compare these batting averages online to offline. So perfect perfect by hit type offline, same time frame. Remember, we have 909, 797, 889. 903, 805, 911. So, in offline play, during this week exclusively, first of all, there were a lot more perfect perfects, but that makes sense. That shows you a lot more people play offline than online, for everybody who thinks differently. More people play it offline. 911 on line drives becomes the highest. 805 on grounders, slightly better than online, but that's negligible difference. 797 to 805 is like, it's not a big deal. And then 903 for fly balls, negligible. So everything's negligible, really. The biggest difference came on line drives. That led to an 872 cumulative batting average on perfects in offline. And it was 869 cumulative online. It's virtually the same. That's so interesting. Because everyone says, oh, there's, offline does play better because you don't have to have P2P connection, player-to-player connection. But it's only 0.003 points higher. 872 compared to 869. That's crazy. How fun is this? Is everyone else nerding out on this like me? I'm so happy this exists. All right, the last thing to look at is just bare online hitting stats. From the week of May 15th. This doesn't work. Okay, never mind. We're not looking at this. Why does this not work? Colin! Colin, are you here? Are you still here, Colin? Why doesn't this work? Can I look at offline hitting stats? It doesn't work. Okay, so everything works but that, and that's fine. I think we've satisfied enough of what we're talking about. So now I'm curious to tell you right when the player base dropped off. 5.8 million perfect perfects from May 15th to May 21st. Let's take it all the way to the top. December 4th to December 10th. Only 23,000 perfect perfects. Oh no. That can't be right. That's low. I don't know. I don't know if that's right either. That doesn't seem right to me. That doesn't seem right to me. Because that's you're telling me only 195 perfects on Legend in a whole week in December? There's no shot. There's no shot. But for the sake of this exercise, looking at May was probably the best. So much of this information was super cool. I just had a ton of fun looking at that stuff. What does it tell us? I don't know. But it does show us the numbers. And we always thought we had to wait until like an end of season recap from SDS or a preseason like primer from SDS to be like, hey, idiots, this is actually the batting average on perfect perfects. It's not as bad as you say it is. Now we can just go look. theshow.com, hover over Community Plus, scroll down to stats, boom, pick your window, pick your stat. It's all there. Wild to me. Wild to me that I didn't know that existed. Go take a look at it yourselves. In the comments, let me know what the most interesting thing you've noticed about it is. I don't think I misinterpreted any data, but let me know if maybe I didn't think of something. Let me know what comparisons you find. Let me know what is most interesting. Let me know if you knew it existed. I can't be the only dumbass who had no idea. I'm also sure there are people who did know it exists, but I can't be the only one who didn't. So that's going to do it for this episode of the show, the podcast. Emergency podcast episode tomorrow talking about the cover reveal. Short one, but still in your inbox. I don't want to wait a whole week to talk about the cover on the podcast. Especially by then, we'll probably have more news to talk about, like the Legend cover and whatnot. So we're going to keep up to date. Last week, I don't know if you guys realized, I posted a lot of extra videos about all the cover teases. This is going to be your news source for MLB The Show. So make sure, if you're not already, follow the podcast, subscribe on YouTube, like every video, comment on stuff, make me happy. So thank you guys. Make sure you enter the giveaway. Make sure you check out the merch store. And I love you all. See you next time.